Welcome to Broken Kayfabe, the unofficial after show of Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrin and Barry, the most altruistic podcast on the freaking internet. Ariel Agbalog, thank you so much for joining me again today. You are the most perfect co-host, but how the heck are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just relaxing right now. I'm trying to get my body to fall asleep so I can, sleep later on and so I could work tonight. It's a nice sunny day. I'm thinking of ordering pizza, but I don't want to because I'm just going to eat it by myself and I'm going to feel like crap later on. And I just had 3 cups of coffee. So how are you doing, Frankie?
Good. So where are you thinking of ordering this pizza from?
I knew you were going to ask that question. Okay, so the only pizza place that's open early is Domino's, and that's like right next to my house. We also have Mountain Mike's Pizza, which is a local chain. It's really good. There's also Round Table, which is also a California-based chain. That's awesome too. Very expensive. I'm skipping Pizza Hut because I don't like Pizza Hut. Little Caesars is okay. Papa John's is too far and I've never had it, but everybody says it sucks, so I'm not going to do that. But it's probably a toss-up between Mountain Mike's or maybe Domino's because they're pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay. Domino's. Okay.
Yeah, probably not though, because it's like, well, last time I got Domino's, I actually ate a medium pizza by myself in about like 10 minutes. And I didn't feel good afterwards. I actually got like acid reflux from it. So, I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't be doing that anyway in the first place. But I've been craving pizza lately. But I don't know. I just had a burrito. So I had half of a leftover burrito. And now I'm hungry again. Well, not really hungry. I'm bored. So I eat when I'm bored. Yeah, bored hungry, and I'm trying not to do that. So I'm just gonna probably just drink a lot of water, try to get full off of that, and just probably go to sleep later on.
Well, that sounds like a great plan. Before we get going today, we do want to send out some warm get well wishes to our buddy up in Rochester, Joe Christie. Joe, if you're listening to this and you're still listening to us, we're all thinking about you and praying for you, buddy, hoping that you'll get well. And I know that most of the brothership is that way, and I got added to a group that's just they're all about Joe Christie. So, Joe, if you're listening, man, we hope you to get well soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope you can make it to FanFest, and hope just in general that you kick cancer in the ass.
Ariel, we've got an exciting show this afternoon, and as exciting as I can get. And we're going to, piggyback on Jeff and Barry, and Breaking Kayfabe with a couple of topics.
Of course.
Did you pick out any topics other than the ones we talked about?
Actually, I was just trying to. Well, I was thinking about talking about the pizza chains and the breakfast chain that Jeff asked Barry what his his favorite is out of a number of them. So
you hear us keep mentioning Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrin and Barry, and if you don't know what that is the podcast which we piggyback off of because that's how we all met. We all met through the Facebook group that's there, Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrin and Barry. So I don't know how you found our podcast without first hearing theirs or without being in the group, Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrin and Barry. So we're just going to continue the discussion of what they talked about. Or we have some discussion of what's going on in the Brothership, which is the Facebook group. So if you aren't a listener of Breaking Kayfabe with Baldrin and Barry, please go download it. They are 1 trillion times better than we are, 1 trillion times more entertaining. And if you're not a member of the Facebook group, then go ahead and join. You'll have a lot of fun. Not many rules except no politics. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
Was there another one?
Yeah, it's something they don't want you to post like more than 4 or 5 posts a day.
Right, that one. Yeah.
So let's start off with tipping.
Okay.
Jeff mentioned that he was doing the Uber and that the tips are very important. And you and I in the past we've talked about tipping. It's not a city in China. So the other day I went to it was actually yesterday. So we bought some chicken tikka masala from Sam's Club, and Jana and I and our son we had that for dinner. Well, I like the onion chutney and the mango chutney, and Jana likes the naan bread. So right before we cooked our dinner, the Sam's Club chicken tikka masala that fed 3 of us was $15, and plus a $2 bag of rice, whatever the new Uncle Ben's is. I didn't know this, but the Uncle Ben's rice, Ben's Original, I think it's called now, is made in Canada. Did not know that. So $2. So for $17, that fed 3 of us. But I had to have my onion chutney, mango chutney, and Jana's bread. So I went and got that, and the total came up to like $12 and some change. And I gave the guy that gave it to me $15, told him to keep the change. And so that's how I feel about the tipping, right? It's not just for the service of, hey, you brought me my refill of my drinks, you brought me my food, whatever. It's also, I try and be generous with everybody that is involved in the food, handing out the food, so the quick serves, if we call ahead, leave a couple bucks, because look, it's only a couple bucks to me, but if everybody does that, then that person might walk away with 10 or 15, $20 extra in a day, which will make a big difference to some of those folks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to hammer that in my mind, where if you can afford to go eat out, you could afford to tip, a little bit more. But as far as like the food delivery services like Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, whatnot, I try to tip a little bit more than 18%. I usually tip 18%, right? So also, if I get it from a restaurant that's further away from me, say like around 6 to 7 miles, it may not seem far, but here it's like I could be in Santa Clara where Matt Crowder is at. It's like 7 miles away. That's a totally different city. So if I'm ordering food from there and I'm having someone deliver it, I will tip a lot more, because they have to get on the freeway most of the time. They have to probably battle through traffic. Who knows if there's like a car accident, things like that happen, where food delivery might get delayed and all that stuff. And it's a very, for me, it's good to tip more if the person delivering is coming from a much further distance. So just to make it worth their time and everything like that.
So here's sort of a funny story. So a couple years ago, we had a friend that was staying at our house that was from Wilmington that messaged Jana and said everywhere they were trying to find a room to stay in this area, they were coming down for a wedding, that it was like $350 for a room. Well, it just happened that we were leaving our house and going to Wilmington for that weekend, which is where this person lived. So we let them stay here. They offered us to stay at their place, but we declined. So we come home. There's a purse laying there. And I said, oh, well, it looks like Lauren left her purse. And so Janet messaged Lauren and says, hey, you left your purse. And Lauren said, no, I didn't. I've got it. And Janet says, well, there's a purse here and it's not mine. And so Lauren said, what's the ID? And we told her the ID. And it was from Holiday, Florida, which is over an hour away. Mm-hmm. And so turns out that Lauren was a little intoxicated, and when she got out of the car, she took the Uber driver's purse and left it here.
Oh no!
Thinking it was her purse.
Mm-hmm.
And so she ended up getting in touch with the Uber driver through the Uber app, and the Uber driver lived, so it was over an hour away. So my point is, you should always tip well, but in this case, this person started Ubering up in their town over an hour away and Ubered all the way down to here. And then, at the end of the night, if they're an hour away, they still have an hour drive back home.
Yeah.
Right. So, they take the fares where they lead them, and it's not like they're just, staying within 5 or 10 minutes of their house. But I hope that they tipped her well. And I think she was able to tip her again or do something different. I can't remember the whole story, but she was able to get this lady some more money for her trouble. And then we mailed the purse and all of its contents back to this woman.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
How inebriated do you have to be to get your purse mixed up, or grab the wrong purse, or grab an extra purse? I don't know. Well, I don't know, because I don't own purses, so I have a penny pack
that's the thing. But if you're used to carrying a purse around, and you're drunk, and you always think you get out of the car, oh, do I have my purse? We don't have to worry about that, right? As Ben, you say we get out of the car, it's like, phone, did I set my phone down? Maybe that's about it, all that we worry about. But the ladies, they're used to having their purses on them. So yeah, but she had to be pretty damn wasted.
Yeah.
They came from a wedding too, so.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you get wasted at a wedding. It's customary to do that, I guess.
Yeah, so always tip well. I mean, there's tons of other situations where tipping is warranted, and needed. Yeah, I can think of others where people are like, hey, I've actually heard people say this, if you don't like what you're getting paid, then go find a better job. Well, that's easier said than done, for most people, right?
Right.
I mean, if you, so it's like, why do you want to have a job where you have to rely on your tips? Maybe that's the only job that you can do, right? Or maybe that's the only job that's for your lifestyle, or mentally, it's whatever. There's many reasons, but the answer is not, oh, well, hey, how about just go getting a better job where you don't have to rely on your tip?
Exactly. Yeah. Ugh, that sucks. I don't like when people say that. I used to think that way when I was younger. But now that I'm older, people go through different things in life. They're not always. Nobody really wants to do jobs, that depend on tips for as a career. Usually there's always something else that they want to do, but right now this is all they can do, or this is what their life allows them to do at the moment.
Yeah.
And we have to be more empathetic, and we got to think about these things. We're not. A lot of people are just they don't think about other people and what other people might be going through in life. So we have to be better, essentially.
Yeah, and not be better by going and getting a better job, you bunch of jerks.
Exactly. But
so Barry, here's a good time for us to go ahead and go to Chris Spiker. Well, I'm pleased to have Chris come on. We just had him talk about night 1 of Wrestlemania, and last night we had a conversation. Not the best audio quality, because it's hard sometimes to line up when people can record. He could only record right when I had to go pick up my daughter from her acting drama. What do you call it when you rehearsal? She's in the Little Mermaid production for school. And actually, it's kind of crazy for me to say this, but for her school today, she is at the theater getting ready for this performance tomorrow. So she actually has no school today, but she'll be counted as for school. She's at the theater getting ready. So from 8 to 5 today, she has this theater, and then the performance starts tomorrow. So I drove, and we talked while I was driving, and then we parked in the parking lot, and while I waited for my daughter to come out, and then we went a little bit longer. But I'm very thankful that Chris gives us his thoughts on night 2 of WrestleMania. He watched WrestleMania, so I didn't have to.
Awesome. But
So
hey, I have a question actually before we get to the interview. Which character is your daughter playing in The Little Mermaid?
So funny story. So she got the ensemble. So she's playing a frog and a fish. A frog and a mermaid. She's like one of Ariel's friends. Like, it's not a speaking role. And so she's in this acting class, and when she told us she was going to audition, we said, hey, her mother and I said, hey, you should let us help you, because I've got some acting experience, and Jana was in dance and performance when she was younger. And so my daughter never took us up on it. So when she went, and she had just started her acting class at the time of this audition. So when she went, and they just had her sing a song. So she, sang in a choir voice instead of in her, head voice. So she's actually been in voice lessons now. So she was really, really disappointed that she didn't get a speaking role. But she's in 7th grade, and it's like from 7th grade to high school to senior high. So that the more experienced kids or older kids are probably going to give a better audition. And also, it's the school wants, this person's been in all of our performances for the last 5 years, so they're probably going to get the role. So she was a little upset, and she's like, I'm not even going to do it. And I said, look, you'll just do it for the experience. And she told me last night that she's really glad that she stuck through it. So even though that she didn't get a major part, she's still happy that she did it. And but she also auditioned for Wizard of Oz through her acting academy this summer, and so she has got a call back. So she'll get a speaking role most likely, and she's either going for Scarecrow or the Wicked Witch of the West.
That's awesome. Good luck to her. Hope she gets something really good later on down the line with the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, she was just disappointed. Well, and so for her performance, or I'm sorry, for her audition for this the Wizard of Oz, I told her again, hey, you should let us help you, and you have to prepare for it. Just like, I had to talk with her, you have to prepare for this, treat it just like it's a test in school, right? You have to study, you have to, work at it. You have to do it multiple times, record yourself, have other people watch you. And so she did it, and she nailed it. And her acting coach said, gosh, Andy, I didn't even know you could sing. And she belted it out. And so he said, you'd benefit for some voice lessons. And so he's been working with her. And this guy is absolutely amazing. He's been on Broadway. He's been on some TV shows. His name is Jason Wooten. And his wife is a dancer, and she tours with the Trans-Siberian Orchestra every winter. So they're really talented people. And she had gotten in some trouble with her schoolwork at the end of first semester, because her brother goes to a technical high school where there's no homework, and the workload is a lot easier than her private school. So she would have to come home, and she's got to read all these books and do all these papers. And so she just wasn't putting the effort into her schoolwork. And so we told her, hey, if you don't hit your reading goal, then you can't continue drama. And she didn't hit her goal. And so she was really upset. We took drama away from her. But then, me being a big softie and knowing that she will really benefit from it, I said, look, here's the deal. I'll give you another chance. You got to keep up with your schoolwork. I know that it sucks that your brother doesn't have to even try, and he's getting A's and B's, and you have to do all this extra stuff. And she said, okay. So she's done a lot better this quarter, and she got 1 quarter left. And then she decided she's not going to go back to this private school, that she's going to be homeschooled next year with me. So I'll be with her, Monday through Friday every week, and helping her get through her 8th grade. And then the 9th grade, she'll go to the same school her brother goes to.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that should work. That should work out pretty well.
All right, so here we go with Chris Spiker. Again, thank you, Chris, for coming on and talking to us about Wrestlemania. Hey, everybody, it's Frankie, and I am back with Chris Spiker with a part two of the Wrestlemania coverage that he has done for us. You heard him review night one, and now I'm so thankful to have him tell us about his thoughts and opinions on night two. Thank you, Chris.
What's up, Frankie? Hey, so night two has come and gone, and so I know we discussed night one kind of in great depth, and I want to kind of talk more about, talk more about what happened night two. Night two, I was kind of looking more forward to for different reasons. So they started off really strong with a three-way tag team match. It was Alpha Academy, who's Chad Gable and Otis, and Randy Orton and Riddle, who are RK Bro, and the Street Profits. I can tell you, I am a big fan of 4 of the 6 guys in this match. Like, I'm a huge fan of Randy Orton. I love the Street Profits. I think they're incredible to watch. I think they got some real talent, and Chad Gable has always been phenomenal. I've been a fan of his since the American Alpha days with him and Jason Jordan, who I think were one of the greatest underrated tag teams and short-lived tag teams ever. They were very Steiner Brothers isk in the ring, and sad their time together got cut short. So,
I'm going to agree with you on Gable. I think Gable has been underrated, maybe because of his size, but his wrestling style is different than Dolph Ziggler's, right? But what's interesting is there's 2 guys who can legitimately wrestle, where that's really not emphasized a whole lot, that they're legitimate badasses, right?
exactly. I mean, I wouldn't cross him in a dark alley. He could straight you 6 ways till Sunday. So so it started off. The difference between night 2 and night 1 was this started off really hot, and now I know night 1 kind of got hampered because of the injury. We've discussed that, but this was straight fire at points, man. They were hitting on all cylinders with the opening tag team match. So it was very well done. I think the right guys went over. It was fun. A lot of good stuff going on, and I'm not overly familiar with Gable Stevenson's work, but he got involved there after the match and suplex Chad Gable around. So I guess he's kind of a big deal. I'm not overly familiar with his work, so
Yeah, I think he just got the gold medal.
Yeah, which, I mean, cool. I mean, if you're going to put him in the same league as Brock Lesnar and some of these other guys who are legit, wrestling badasses, then cool,
Yeah,
that's cool. Let's see if he can hold it up. Let's see if he's going to try and make him next Kurt Angle, which obviously they've tried and they failed many times with that regard. So,
did you notice this? So I did see a little bit of it. Talking to you about night 1 kind of got me hyped, and I was able to click it on the Peacock and watch a little bit of night 2. So I did see the finish of that match, but did you sort of see how Gabe Stevenson was a little flabby?
yeah, I noticed that. I'm like, he doesn't look like it. I won't tell him that to his face, but
Yeah, but it was interesting. I like to watch the cuts that the wrestling companies make. I noticed, like, if a girl was looking a little pudgy, they would show more of the up, and it was the same with Gabe Stevenson. You could see a little pudge, and they immediately cut up above that so that you couldn't see it.
yeah. I mean,
and I get it. It's a body business or whatever, but it's interesting to see that the little bit of flab and it's moving around there, and they're like, oh crap, Kevin Dunn or somebody is like, get it off his gut.
Well, I mean, with the camera cuts every 5 seconds, you won't be able to tell anyways. I mean, geez.
That's true. But you're right. That ending that match was absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, it was like straight, like boom, 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 and all of a sudden, as soon as they set it up, like little things, as soon as you saw it coming, at least I did. I knew exactly how it was going to end, so I wasn't really. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
So, So it was a great way to start. Tone for what was yet to come. In certain cases, it did. So I mean, it was a nice start, and you got the established guys over, started hot. So I mean, it was good. So then after that was Omos, who I can see what they see in him, but he's still very, very, very green and got a lot of work to do against Bobby Lashley. I'm a huge Bobby Lashley fan. I always have been.
How can you not be?
Exactly. I mean, and he's only gotten better. Like the badass portrayal they've had of him the last couple years here has been phenomenal. Like, like the total, just like straight up badass, like he's legit scary because he will pop your head off your shoulders type deal. I love that. I wanted him to get that kind of push for a while, and I'm glad they put the ball on it and ran with it for a little bit. Obviously, he got pushed to the backside because of the whole Roman and Brock thing, but who the fuck didn't? And we'll actually kind of get to that here after we talk about the main event, because I have some thoughts about that.
So I watched the Omos and Lashley match, and the thing that I just thought was kind of awkward was Omos came out to hardly nothing, right? It was just they shot from below him, and like that was it, But then when Lashley came out, it was the fireworks and this and that, and it's like, okay, obviously we know who's going over, right?
Yeah, I mean, you hoped. I mean, that was just because you get that does not necessarily mean anything. So,
well, that was a little telling for me, because and sometimes you can see it on people's face. They're not pumped up, they're not hyped when they're not going over.
Yeah, but I mean, he came out. The WrestleMania crowd was hot for him. He got a good pop, and literally and figuratively, he had a tall task ahead of him, because Omos is very, very, very green. He's nowhere near the level of Great Khali or El Gigante, bad and slow and plodding, but he's got a lot of work to do. But Lashley, Lashley did what he needed to do with him. He got the good, it was like, I don't know. They just didn't connect, but that's okay. You didn't expect a 5-star classic out of the two of them, so it was serviceable. So,
and Lashley went over. How did he go over? I forget.
If I remember right, he hit him with a spear, which is one of his trademark
yes.
moves. So,
yeah.
So I mean, and that wasn't even unbelievable. Like, I kind of expected that. I kind of want to see him lock on his full Nelson on the big guy, though. Like, I kind of want to see him try and get the full Nelson on him and see what happened, Could have had a moment there, but, WWE's kind of landed a missed opportunity. So Lashley goes over, thank God. So then we get, if memory serves me right, my memory's fuzzy on which one came first. So let's talk about the women's tag team match first, because it was good. It was entertaining. I'm a Rhea Ripley fan. I don't mind looking at Sasha Banks. Life was good. I mean, I love watching Naomi. My wife's a big Naomi fan. Dr. Spiker loves Naomi. So, so I mean, it was serviceable. I mean, Naomi and Sasha won. The story was, they told the story of Sasha never winning at WrestleMania, and she busted that. So good on her. So, I mean, it was fun. I mean, it was, I was making dinner during the match, so I was kind of multitasking while watching the match. So,
So who were the tag teams?
It was Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. It was, God, why am I blanking on it? It was the two of them. I'm blanking. It was Naomi
Sasha
and
and Naomi.
Yeah, Sasha and Naomi. Rhea and Liv. It was Carmella and...
Was it Shayna Baszler and Natalia?
Shayna and Natalya. Thank you. I'm sorry. Natalya doesn't do anything for me whatsoever. And I think that's why I'm like, oh my God, crickets every time she gets in the ring. And then it was Aleister Black's wife. Zelina Vega and Carmella were the tag team champs. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm blanking on this. But they had a good, I mean, it was fun. I mean, they all got their stuff in. So, I kind of I didn't mind Naomi and Sasha winning. I would have minded Rhea and Liv, because I love Rhea Ripley, but is what it is. So, it was fine. And like I said, I think the match order's out of place here, because the match I really want to talk about well, one of the two I really want to talk about was Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn. So, you remember when?
So I watched. We watched that one.
Okay, so you being the type of guy that you are, you're an old school wrestling fan. But you seem to enjoy humor and things and everything like that. You don't think wrestling should be taken too seriously. What did you think about this?
Oh man. So I'm not a big fan of the celebrities in Wrestlemania, and I get why they do it, but in terms of the gimmickies and the action and the things and using the Jackass group, I thought it was good.
See, my theory. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, I was done.
I wonder. I'm like, okay, I know they have a new movie coming up, but I'm wondering if somehow Vince McMahon is sitting there at a table and he's just seen Jackass for the first time. He's like, and Vince sitting there, and and Vince going, "Oh damn, pal, I need these guys on my show like right now." So before the match, I'm like, okay, I want to see Wee Man show up somewhere, and lo and behold, he did. So I love going on Facebook right after, during the match and after the match. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, this match was terrible" and everything like that. I thought it was hysterical at points. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie. Sami Zayn took it like a champ.
Well, you know what? And here's what I said after watching the end is like, I said I would have been like Sami Zayn. I would have made the most of that.
Exactly.
And he did, because you're getting paid,
yeah.
and it's like you can't take yourself so seriously all the time. I know that I saw people that hated it, and I didn't hate it. The only thing that I didn't like about it was, like people like Ricochet and somebody else didn't have a WrestleMania spot.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, right? But maybe the thought process is, oh, well, we'll sell more tickets with, Johnny Knoxville. We'll sell more with Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Or, whatever celebrities that got spots where the workers didn't. So,
yeah.
But and some of the things were pretty funny. And I didn't think that Johnny Knoxville didn't no sell things. So I thought that was good. I thought the giant mouse trap was, it could have worked a little bit better, but you know what, man? But you see hokey shit in every single match. So I took it as, I don't understand what these people are all upset over, with hokey stuff. Because look, the Irish whip and ripping someone into the ropes and bouncing off is hokey. When you think of it at the core, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't understand the outrage that I did see on there with you, and there were some funny spots. I thought it was really good that they got the guys from the outside, and Sami Zayn, like, he got some good stiff shots in there.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like probably what you would do if you're in the business and somebody's trying to come in and take a spot, you'd probably give them to them a little rough, like you've heard people talk about, right? A rough shot. So yeah, I thought there was some funny stuff.
I will say this, and I know it's been in the past, it's been debatable. WWE has gotten really good at bringing in people who seem to be fans and respect the business. Logan Paul, I think Johnny Knoxville did okay for himself, all things considered. Bad Bunny last year. I didn't even know who the fuck Bad Bunny was until the Royal Rumble of last year. So we're sitting there watching WrestleMania, and my wife's like, I have no idea who this guy is. And you know what? He went out and he put on a great show. Okay. So they're getting people who get it and seem to be fans and respectful. It's not like somebody just coming in and getting a pinfall. They're actually getting there doing things. They're getting in there and they're getting into the thick of things. The publicity stuff looked good for the movie, looked great for WWE. I mean, Sami Zayn gets one of the MVP spots of the weekend for selling it like he did. I mean, he kicked a midget in the face, took a bowling ball to the nuts. I mean, come on.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the bowling ball to the nuts thing. I've seen that done in an indie show before, but damn, there's something about Johnny Knoxville doing it though that made it funnier. And just watching the Jackass guys. So I mean, it was. You know what? I've seen much worse. Okay, I have seen so much worse professional wrestling. I wasn't bothered by it. It was more entertaining than any rate to be at certain points. So,
Yeah, well, we could have seen Liberace dancing with the Rockettes.
yeah, exactly. Or we could go through WrestleMania by the years and the celebrities that have been there, and the ones that were just kind of there. Okay, I mean, my favorite, thinking about WrestleMania performances and celebrities, the one I always go back to was Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow. That was like 25 years ago now. That was like 25, 26 years ago when LT and Bam Bam faced off in the main event of WrestleMania. And LT looked great.
Yep.
So that's what I always kind of come back to that too. So, and that's one that always sticks in my mind. We talk about celebrities wrestling at WrestleMania. People who aren't like MMA fighters or MMA fighters who are kind of, celebrities and anything like that. That's who I kind of think back to. Yeah, he's a football player, but some of these guys like Logan Paul did very well for himself in his tag team match on night one, So it's people who get it and, aren't, shitting all over things. I like that. So, yeah, I mean, it was serviceable. Like I said, I've seen a lot worse. I saw an independent show once where a guy submitted to Atomic Wedgie. Okay. That might still be the worst thing I've ever seen in the sport of professional wrestling. Yeah. So, I mean, nothing came close to being that offensive in that match. So,
yeah.
So then we get to AJ Styles versus Edge, which I've stated before. I was really looking forward to it because I think both of them can go. And I enjoyed the match. It was a little slow at points, like a little too much rest time in between. I think it was kind of deliberate. I think you could have shaved off some time in between there. I know what they were trying to go for. I personally think the wrong guy went over, but I think it's the further because they're teasing this new faction that Edge is leading with Damian Priest and everything else. So I get it, but you could have given one of your company's best, most consistent performers a nice rub against a part-timer. Because Edge is still pretty much a part-timer in my mind because he's not wrestling all the time like AJ Styles is. So
yeah, I don't value Edge. I wasn't excited with him coming back. I just have never been a huge Edge fan. I don't know if I was sour from the Edge and Lita stuff. I don't know. I've just never been a huge Edge fan. But I did like what he did with Randy Orton, the match that they had. But
yeah,
and I think that was one of the last matches that I saw. But and he's got personality and he can do it and he's got moves. But AJ Styles for me is way better in my opinion.
AJ Styles is one of the premier talents and has been in the world for forever now. I mean, it feels like. I mean, he started in late 90s, early 2000s, and he only got better. I mean, yeah, he's changed his style up because he's getting older. Obviously, he's not gonna be able to do what he did. But I mean, he hit all his spots. He hit his signature spots. He got the Styles Clash in there, which I think should have been the finish. But again, that's just me being an AJ mark. So that's just me marking out for my boy AJ Styles. But I mean, it's I mean, it is what it is. And I mean, I should have he got over the signature. He did this splash. I mean, I kind of called it before the match what the finishing stretch was going to be, and I wasn't wrong. I was like, man, they're probably going to go for the phenomenal form into the spear, kind of like they did with Roman. And the one time he did it in the RKO with Randy, I'm like, damn it, AJ, come on, dude. Get yourself a new finisher. You have all these moves. Why do you keep going back to that one?
Right, yeah.
So it's one of those things. I mean, the predictability of it didn't bother me. I just wish it would have ended differently than it did.
It probably comes down to they've got plans for Edge and uncertain about what they're going to do with AJ Styles.
I mean, unless you're going to have AJ move forward with it and have AJ, you build AJ up to be one of the contenders later on for the title, but you could have started that here and not sacrificed that. It's kind of like when they did it first they did it to him. They did something like this to him years ago, actually, when he first came into WWE. I guess this was 7 years ago now. When he showed up at the Rumble, he feuded with Jericho. He lost to Jericho at WrestleMania, which I didn't mind. But then in the next month, he's fighting Roman Reigns for the title. I'm like, okay, it would have looked more credible, and I realize there's something we said you can win by losing, but the way WWE books sometimes, that's not always true.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Not always true. And I feel that sometimes you want to make a strong enough point against, the biggest contenders in the world. You want to get them as strong as you possibly can to make them believe that, hey, this is going to be a thing. I mean, if you're going to have Cody Rhodes go after Roman Reigns, you started that cycle already. So, I mean, it's maybe it's a sign of their misdirections. Who knows? Won't surprise me. But they're going to try and build this new stable up and everything like that. I'm kind of curious to see where they go with that and who they get involved in it and all that kind of fun stuff. So then I think after that, it was the New Day against Sheamus and Ridge Holland, which they pulled it off night 1 for whatever reason due to time. So then they put it on night 2 and gave it like 5 minutes. Almost kind of defeated the purpose. I'm like, okay, so you could have skipped out on 5 minutes of the 3 hours of video packages you had for this, and that's it. Like,
yeah, I agree with the little bit that I watched. So I started at the end of the RK Bro match, and I watched until the end of the Sami Zayn match. So 3 matches. Well, two matches, and that was just way too much video packages in between each one. And I said to Jana while we were watching, I was like, I wonder what the people there are actually doing during these boring ass video packages, recapping the feuds or whatever.
Yeah. Or, hey, this is WrestleMania week, blah, blah, blah. Hey, this is what we're doing right now, blah, blah, blah. So I can only imagine. I'm like, shit, I'm sitting there in that stadium. Hey, $14 beer. How many $14 beers are you going to drink in a night? So after that, tag team match, which nothing really happened.
Are they still calling Pete Dunne Butch?
Unfortunately. Don't get me started on that.
That's the stupidest shit that WWE does, man. It is the stupidest.
He looks more like Williams than he does Butch.
Yeah.
But anyways, what I mean? Come on, Pete Dunne and then Butch, and now he's some sort of like rabid dog, like he was attacking Kofi and Xavier after the belt. It's like, okay, we get it. You changed his name. I mean, come on, he was a badass. Now you turned him into a puss. Come on.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite dudes on NXT for a long time. So
no, absolutely. He had the look. He looked like a fighter. He looked rough, like a heel. I thought Pete Dunne was phenomenal. I thought he was great. I used that word phenomenal way too much. I thought he was awesome. I enjoyed him, but WWE did it again with the next night with Elias and Ezekiel.
Yeah. Would you say it was stupendous?
Oh, stupendous! Yeah.
Would you say it was stupendous?
But this just changing the gimmicks. I mean, it's you know what? This is what I feel, right? You're going to change someone's gimmick. You go, hey, look, your gimmick's not working. We just feel like you're not over. You're not whatever. It's not what we want. Not drawing, whatever. what would you suggest? Because here's the thing, it's just like any job that you have, the boss gives feedback and goes, hey, here's what we're seeing, and here's what we expect out of you. You have to make that happen, right? If you get written up for coming in late, then they say, hey, you can't come in late anymore, and it's on to the employee to make that happen, right? And I mean, that's what I feel about. Hey, if you don't like the gimmick of it, then you got to do the dumb name change or some dumb gimmick. You let the person give the person a shot. I mean, case in point, Stone Cold Steve Austin, right?
Yep.
So
yeah,
I hate that for Pete Dunne, and I also think you should be, in control of your own destiny at some point, somewhat.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, totally. I mean, it's dumb. It's dumb. He deserves better, So, but but I mean, I'd rather see him feud with Sheamus, and we might get there, than have him team with Sheamus. I think a Pete Dunne and Sheamus, just them beating the holy hell out of each other, would be a money feud. We will probably get that at some point. So patience, grasshopper.
Yes.
So then we get to. So here's a hot take, and I know why they did it. They're billing the main event as the biggest WrestleMania match ever, which it wasn't. Spoiler alert. But honestly, for crowd reaction behind these two, you should have switched the last two matches. And I'm about to tell you why. You had Austin Theory and Vince McMahon together. Vince is an instant heat magnet. Austin Theory with him is an instant heat magnet. And Pat McAfee is just fucking awesome. Okay, the dude is money. All right, he's got the charisma, he's got the talent. He's a celebrity. He's a former pro football player, but he wants to be there in the ring. He makes it look good. He's got a personality. He would be a great full-time professional wrestler if he ever chose to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe he's got the talent. His entrance with the cheerleaders was phenomenal. Coming out the Seven Nation Army, the crowd got pumped up, got behind him. They went out, they put on a good show. They put on a very good sports entertainment show. McAfee hit some high spots and everything like that. And, Austin Theory is very good in the ring. And, so, they put on a good match. And then, and here's where my theory that this should have been, pardon the pun, stupendous. This is where it should have gone into the main event territory. So Vince McMahon gets in the ring. He's mad because Austin Theory lost and McAfee's going over. And Vince takes off his jacket, starts jaw-jacking to McAfee. And I'm sorry, I'm sitting there as a wrestling fan going, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting. Because if Vince McMahon's in the ring at WrestleMania, and who was just there the night before, if they didn't pull that trigger, they were truly lost. So I was sitting there waiting, and they had the stupid bullshit match with Vince and McAfee, which, made for, McAfee was probably over the moon. And I read an article today that McAfee knew none of this was going to happen after the Vince match. He had no idea what was happening after Vince pinned him. Vince bullshit, Theory jumped in, you got pinned by Vince McMahon. Whoop-de-doo. 72-year-old man pinning you. He had nothing to lose at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So Vince all gloating in the ring, and him and Theory are celebrating, and the glass shatters. And you thought the pop for him on night one was great. Us longtime fans knew exactly what was about to happen. Austin comes stomping down to the ring. Vince McMahon still selling the fear of Steve Austin. To me, okay, so I have to tell you this. If I had to think of all of the greatest feuds in professional wrestling, Austin versus McMahon might have been my favorite feud. Because it was something that had never been done on that level. And it's been duplicated so many times since, and no one has even come close. The only person that came as close to fighting the Authority was CM Punk in 2011.
Yeah,
so,
no, you're right. You're right, and that Austin McMahon thing worked because, who doesn't want to kick their boss's ass?
Exactly. Yeah, and it's funny. I went into work Monday morning, and I'm like, My boss, I like too much. His boss, though, well, you know, my boss is a great dude. I love my boss.
Yeah.
His boss, though, if I was going to ever contemplate it, maybe. He's never going to listen to this. So, you know, but, you know, yeah, it's like who would never think about giving a boss a Stone Cold Stunner? So,
Yeah.
in true Vince McMahon fashion, he sells the Stunner worse than any human being possible. Now, I don't know if it's because they kind of messed it up. You watch it, their timing was a little bit off, or the fact that Vince McMahon should probably not be taking bumps in a wrestling ring ever again. You know, Austin Theory takes one like a champ, so then Austin starts drinking beer with Pat McAfee. Like, Pat, you know what's coming. You know exactly what's about to happen, bro. Does a perfect beer spit in the air when he takes the Stunner. Sells the Stunner like a champ. Beer spit in the air. You know, Austin gets his moment, and they show Pat McAfee on the ground chugging a beer, trying not, and sitting there smiling, chugging a beer on the outside, selling the Stunner. Like I said, that was the image of the weekend right there for me. It was Pat McAfee playing on the outside, going, "Holy crap, this is awesome!"
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's great when it's as great for the talent as it is for us as the fans, because you can see they're naturally enjoying. That will lead to hopefully us enjoying it more.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, it's kind of like you're watching it's like almost any performance. Like you go and you watch a concert and you see them up there on stage feeding off a crowd or doing what they do, and they're feeding off the crowd and they look like they're enjoying themselves. That will in turn lead to you enjoying yourself more, because it's like, holy crap, this is great. You know, I mean, the Springsteen, the Springsteen concert, he's going into the crowd saying, you know, feeding off the energy of the people, and that in turn makes you feel like you're part of the experience. So that, in my mind, just on spectacle alone, that should have been the main event spot. Because what we got next, we've seen this shit already. We've seen it many times.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, the Roman Brock match, I think I said it during the analysis on night one, was it needs to be something different than what they did. It wasn't. It was the same shit. And that kind of upset me. You know, you're calling it the biggest match in WrestleMania history just because you're unifying these titles. Neither guy did anything out of the ordinary. So, you know, same old shit. Roman spears Brock and wins. I've read reports that Roman got hurt during the Kimura lock, that his arm was legitimately snapped out of place. I don't know how true this is. I mean, it looked kind of gross, but again, who knows? But to me, I'm like, okay, that was very anticlimactic for the biggest show of the year and what you're calling the biggest match of all time.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know if they went home early because somebody got hurt or something happened, but it just kind of, you know, that was kind of my reaction. I'm like, okay, that's it. Then Roman celebrates, you know, and show. Like, okay, I put Roman over. I have no problem with Roman Reigns. Okay, I really, really don't. I think, you know, we talked about it before. He's great in his role. He's the bad who we've always wanted to see. Right? Favors again. So overall, night two had some really, you know, it's kind of like you go through both nights together. If you were to put them together, you could definitely edit out so much crap, including 16 hours of video packages. So
do you think maybe they should have put a match in between the Austin Theory, Pat McAfee, and then the Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar?
I mean, you could have switched the New Day match in there, just kind of like a breather match in there beforehand. I mean, the crowd was pretty good for Roman and Brock, especially because Brock came with Brock. To me, it was cool. I'm like, okay, when we get to the special, we really didn't. I don't know. It would have been okay. You guys just go out there and do finishers for 12 minutes. You know, German suplex this. You know, Superman punch this, do this, do that, come on. Let's do something different, let's go outside the wheelhouse, I guess. And I mean, coming out of it though, I mean, you have people lined up to face Roman Reigns, and it makes sense. But I mean, I'm sorry though, when your biggest challengers to Roman, who will probably put on the best matches with Roman, are a guy who lost, AJ, and two guys who are working talents that one of them just plain sucks and the other one's green as hell. And I'm talking about Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems from the way they're going from last night, they're eventually going to push for Roman versus Cody Rhodes. I'm sorry, that's really not going to do it for me.
Yeah.
I'm that match does not interest me at all. Some of Roman's matches, depending who he's working, will, and make it interesting. But I just don't see it happening with Cody. Give me Roman and Lashley beating the hell out of each other. Two big dudes, just beating on each other like that, like they will. That'll be great. So, but I mean, definite mistakes were made. I think it could have been overall presented better. But I mean, there was nothing absolutely dreadful, I guess might be the case. It's the way I can phrase it. It was definitely more entertaining than a lot of years past, I think. So, so I'd probably rate it somewhere in the solid middle, all things considered. So.
Cool.
So, but, so I mean, thanks for letting me on and discussing it and everything like that. It's always fun to come on and, someone says, here, talk about this. I'm like, okay, cool. And I like to have conversations about things. This is always a good time.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for coming and giving us your take on Wrestlemania.
Hey, man, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Whenever you need opinions, you know how to find me. So.
Yeah. I knew I wasn't going to watch Wrestlemania, but I'm glad that you did, and you can give us your thoughts.
I've tried not watching Wrestlemania, and it feels weird. It's almost like you're missing something if you're not watching it. Because probably I've watched it every year. First WrestleMania was in 1985. WrestleMania is 3 months older than me, so of course I didn't see that one. But it feels like every year it's like an event, and it's become an event at the Spiker house. It was an event in Spiker household growing up, but it was an event in the Spiker household, when I got older, and now it's an event in our household for the most part too. Because Mrs. Spiker likes to watch it for the most part. She'll, her analysis on wrestling to me is always entertaining anymore, because she's like starting to question things. She's like, well, this makes no sense, or why isn't this person doing this? And it's, as I'm sure, if the Queen watches wrestling, when you get the more highly intelligent people watching wrestling, they start asking questions. You're like, wait a second. Wait. They're offering expert analysis, and it kind of makes you think about it in a certain way. That's her watching wrestling. And unfortunately, she wasn't home to watch it either night, but tonight she's home now. So I kept telling her, so you have to watch the Sami Zayn Johnny Knoxville match. So, and she's a fan of Becky and Bianca, so I'm probably going to have her watch that too. That was a great match. That might have been match of the weekend, honestly. Becky and Bianca might have been my favorite match of the weekend.
Oh, cool. I'll tell my daughter that. I just picked her up, so she'll probably go and check it out now. She used to be the biggest Becky Lynch fan, and then we saw Bianca Belair down in Largo, so she likes her too.
Becky's always been a favorite of mine. I always think she's been one of the most solid, best characters and in-ring performance, and apparently she's a wonderful human being. So props to her all around.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming on, man. We're going to do a podcast where we have a bunch of people on. We're going to call it the something one day. I know you're itching to do it, and I think it'd be really, really cool to get a bunch of brother shippers on together. So,
oh my God,
I will coordinate that and get that to happen. If for nothing else, then maybe a month before the June Fan Fest.
Sounds like a plan, brother. So, all right. Well, we
awesome,
will definitely
man.
talk
Thank you
soon.
so much. You have a good night,
pleasure.
and we'll have you back on soon.
All right, bud. All right, catch you later. All right. Bye-bye. Bye.
Welcome back, everyone. That was Chris Spiker. Thank you again, Chris. That was great. I enjoyed talking to you. And WrestleMania really seemed like it was so cool to be back from the COVID stuff and bounce back. And there's a lot of people there. I didn't hear what the attendance was, but I'm glad that we were live and in a packed stadium again.
Yeah, the attendance was around like 78,000 plus. I think it was like 77,000 plus and change and whatever. Which is a good attendance, considering that the past 2 years there was like, barely anything. That WrestleMania, the first year of COVID was abysmal. There was no one in there. They did it at the Performance Center. It didn't feel like a WrestleMania at all. Last year barely felt like a WrestleMania. I think there was only like 20 some odd thousand people because they had to, do the social distancing or half capacity type deal. But it was great to see a lot of people there. It felt like a WrestleMania. It was I saw like most of night one. I still haven't finished it. I mean, it's so long. 2 nights. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. So, but I intend to finish it sometime soon. But it felt like a WrestleMania. So, I enjoyed it myself. But yeah, it's I still have a couple more matches to watch.
Well, the winner of the main event of Night 2 WrestleMania was none other than the big dog, Roman Reigns. And speaking of big dogs, Ariel, how do you feel about people bringing their dogs everywhere they go?
Everywhere they go.
The grocery stores.
Yeah.
Department stores, airplanes.
Personally, I don't really care. I love dogs. So when I see one out and when I'm out and about, I kind of get happy. I'm like, oh, look at the little cutie dog. I get all like talking like that and everything and waving at the dog or and whatnot. I do not agree with having a dog in the grocery store just for like hygienic purposes. I mean, you're around food and I don't know. That's just me, but yeah, I don't really mind. I don't really care as much as some people do, but it gets kind of course, when they talked about the emotional support animal versus the service dog and stuff like that. It was yeah, that's kind of tricky. It's I understand what Barry is saying and how he feels. But personally, I don't have too much of an opinion about that. How about you?
Good, because I do.
Okay.
So the other day we were in, let me think of the store. Oh, it's Bell's. It's like a department store.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like I don't know if you have Belk out there or Hex, but it's one of those places. It's got a lot of clothes, got a little housewares, little shoes, kind of deal. It's usually like at an end cap of a shopping center, and it's spelled Bealls. And there's a woman that was shopping, and in the bottom of her cart, she had a Shih Tzu that looked a lot like our dog Winnie, and just wheeling it around. I got no problem with that. Obviously, it's a small house trained dog. I mean, probably house trained. I mean, you could probably bet. And it was behaved. It wasn't barking at anybody or paying anyone any attention. Absolutely 100% fine. We were flying somewhere, Massachusetts, maybe. I think maybe that's where it was last year. And we were flying out of Tampa. And these people that were getting on the plane with us had a pit bull Rottweiler mixed looking dog. huge, 150 pounds.
Wow.
And it had a service dog banner on it, but was not a service dog. It did not behave like a service dog. And the man was mean to it and pushing and hitting it on its butt and jerking it really hard. I can't remember its name. Cujo, get over here, Cujo. I mean, it was, and then there was like a mom, a dad, and 3 kids and a dog, that big dog. I was very uncomfortable. I think we were on like a 4 or 5 hour flight. And so I have a fear of big dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it since I was probably, I don't know how old, in my late teens, early 20s. I didn't have a fear when I was a kid, but as I got older, I just don't like big dogs. And so I was nervous only because had it just been a big service dog, I would have been fine. But just seeing how the dog didn't behave is what made me nervous. And we also were flying with Maxie. And so we had to pay, I want to say $75 to fly him, right? And he had to be in a crate, could not come out of the crate. But yet here's this 150-pound dog that, could rip Maxie in half, that was just out and about and was obviously not a service dog. So it is an actual punishable by jail time penalty in Florida for you to call your dog a service animal when it is actually not a legitimate service animal. Now, does anybody enforce it? No, because like Barry said, you're not supposed to ask. However, if that dog did bite someone and then it was determined, then that person, of course, would be in big trouble. But I'm not worried about the penalty of them calling it a service animal. I'm worried about the big dog snipping and biting at someone, right?
Right.
I mean, especially a little kid. A little kid thinks that puppy dogs are cute and sticks his hand up, and the dog chomps down on it.
Yeah, that's
and
scary.
Then plus you're on it, and I mean, and the dog was bark airport, which was another sign it's not a service animal. So, but no one said anything. They whatever was fine. But there is a difference between emotional support and a service animal. So an emotional support is not a service animal. It has to actually perform a service. I think that Barry said that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So whether it's alert the person that they're about to have a seizure or to go fetch something or whatever, but it does a service. Doesn't just, emotional support, because Max is an emotional support dog for me, but he's not a legitimate. He's not, certified. I don't have anything from a doctor that says that I need it, but he is, just like Ozzy is for Barry. Max is, when I want to calm down and relax, I go lay in the bed next to Max, and sometimes I grab him by his butt. And so the wife and kids have pictures of me falling asleep, rubbing Max's butt.
Yeah.
True story. And then they have another one when we were getting ready to travel, and I didn't have my hand on Max's butt. I had my hand on the wheel of the suitcase that was on the bed. So I've got no problem with people, but I do got a problem with people bringing dogs that could be aggressive out in public.
Right. Yeah, that's
especially when
true.
You see a 120-pound person walking a 150-pound dog. I'm sorry, they can't control that dog if the dog decides to get upset and get angry and go after someone.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, that's scary.
Yeah,
it's it kind of when I was listening to how people don't ask if it's a support dog and whatnot, that kind of like pissed me off. Not pissed me off, but it made me like, wow, really? I mean, this has to change somehow. I don't know how, but like whether or not you have to present paperwork or something, because there's a lot of people getting away with just calling their dog an emotional support dog or a service dog just to as an excuse to have their dog with them everywhere they go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Well, I think that the law sort of looks at it as no harm, no foul, And until someone wants to force it, right? If there's a incident that happens, then they'll say, okay, where's your papers? But in North Carolina, it wasn't like a law. You could. I had one for Maxie, a service vest that said he was a service dog, but he's not. And I never used it to go anywhere, but I had it just in case, because me being in real estate, I didn't want to leave him at home 8-9 hours while I was working. So I would take him with me. So it was like, okay, if for whatever reason it was too hot to leave him in the car and I need to bring him someplace, I didn't want someone to say anything. And then I always carried him, but I never used the vest, but I had, just in case, let's say I had to use the bathroom and I didn't want to leave him in the car. I could put that service vest on him and use it in the case of emergency and not have anybody question me about it. But Florida's an interesting place.
It is. There's a lot of crazy shit going on too. But
you're not lying. But you always hear like the older generation saying, "Oh, the millennials and they're so entitled." Well, I'm going to tell you, the older people are just as entitled. Down here, this is really crazy. Really like irks me. And this is a small thing, and you're going to go, gosh, Frankie, that's kind of petty. But when we're walking down here, so like our street isn't very wide, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just, barely enough for two cars to pass. We don't have a center line. It's a very small town. But old people always walk on the wrong side of the road. So, Ariel, let me ask you, when you're walking, which way should you walk on the road? There's no sidewalk, by the way.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Since I don't walk much, I'm going to say I forgot. Is it towards? Wait, no, not toward. Wait, is it against traffic? Wait. You're gonna have to refresh my memory.
Do you walk with the traffic? So do you go the same direction as the cars, or do you walk toward the cars? Do you walk against traffic?
Fuck, I forgot. Oh my god, I'm gonna fail this. I think it's with traffic. Final answer. No, wait. Yes. Fuck. I can't remember.
You're incorrect, sir. You ride a bicycle with traffic.
Yes.
You walk facing the traffic.
Facing traffic, so you can see the cars.
Yes.
Yes.
So because you don't want to be walking with the traffic because a car could clip you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, see, I get the bicycle thing kind of mixed up because on a bicycle, it's usually with traffic, right?
Yeah. But you also see bicyclists doing whatever the heck they want. They ride on the sidewalk.
Man, fuck those guys. Yeah.
So when we're walking down here, I walk facing traffic just like you're taught since elementary school, but there's always some old people who want to act like that I'm in the wrong for walking, facing traffic like you're what you're supposed to. And so I make them go around me. It drives me absolutely nuts. Right. Yeah. And I mean, you can just tell that they think that I'm in the wrong. But, when you get to be an adult, you just don't, go around correcting all the other adults. Right.
Right.
But that drives me nuts. But it's the same entitlement. Right. It's the same entitlement of, they think that they're in the right and they're entitled to walk on that road. I mean, it's also this. We'll see people walking 2 or 3 people abreast in the road, and you have to go all the way on the other side of the road to go around them. I mean, right? I mean, that's really crazy.
Yeah.
Not that I want to hit anyone, but and it happened the other day that not until I was 2 feet from the people did they start to move over. Absolutely crazy. But so to me, these people are entitled, and they're, middle-aged and up people. And then the other thing is those are the same people that I see walking around in the grocery stores with their dogs. That's the same people that I see, in the Walmarts, in the department stores, in the Home Depot. Those are the same age range of the people that I see that do those things, that take the dogs everywhere they go. It's from what I see, it's not the young millennials who, have to take their, dogs with them everywhere they go. It's, middle aged and up.
Yeah. I mean, granted, to be fair, millennials are the ones that are like, on their phones all the time, not paying attention to anything around them. I'm just saying. I'm kidding.
That's true. That's
true, but I don't want to.
That's 100% true. So my kids have a stepbrother, and this kid is 100% addicted to his phone. 100%. So his dad had asked me to drop him off because he goes to the same school as my son. And from the time that I picked this kid up to 10, 15 minutes later in the car, he's got his headphones on and watching his phone. I'm trying to talk to the kid. He's got his headphones on, and I can hear him either listening to music or watching. I mean, he's got Dre Beats on his damn ears. He's not even got the, the one, you see the kids walk around with the one AirPod in their ear. No, he's got the full on noise canceling headphones on his head in my car, either watching YouTube or listening to music. And the kid's 15. Mm. And so it pissed me off. Mm-hmm. And so I told my wife, I said, look, next time this kid gets in the car and he's wearing headphones, I'm going to tell him to take the damn headphones off. And she said, gosh, please don't. I said, okay. So I'll be a little more polite about it. So the next time that he went to get in the car, good for him, he didn't have them. But I had resolved myself, instead of saying, hey, do you know how dumb you look and disrespectful that you look? Someone's giving you a ride and you can't even take off your headphones to talk to them. But that's what I was going to say. But then I toned it down, and here's what I decided I was going to say if he did it. Hey, bud, would you mind taking your headphones off? I want to talk to you and hear about how school and stuff is going. But see, my first inclination was to go at him hard and insult him a little bit, but I'm like, wait a minute, okay, I'm a stepdad now. I need to cool it, and represent my wife well and my kids well. So, but thankfully he got in and he didn't have them on.
Okay, yeah, you really can't, be that forceful yet. I guess I don't know. I don't have kids. I don't know how to talk to kids. I'd be like, listen, you little shit. No,
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he's not mine, but you know what? I'm doing the kid a favor. So
exactly, yeah. So I don't know. Fuck him.
Well,
it's
his mom and dad's. It's his mom and dad's responsibility to teach him, right?
Yeah. Are these like what's it called? Are they like Gen Z? I don't
yes,
get these.
Yes.
Okay, they're Gen Zers now, right? These
yes.
The millennials kid. No, wait. Fuck. With this generation of shit now is Gen Z. The last, I guess, our kids would be millennials, right? I mean, if we had kids, fucking don't know anymore. No, wait, no. People that were a couple of years young, like in their 30s, 20s, 30s-ish, would be millennials. I don't know the time frame. And
well, here, I'll tell you. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you were born 1928 to 1845, that's called the silent generation.
Jesus Christ, we don't go that far. Don't go that far. Let's go up a little bit more.
Okay. So 1946 to 1964 are the baby boomers.
Right.
1965 to 1980, Generation X.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be me and you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Millennials were born 1981 to 1996. So my kids are not millennials. So my kids are Generation Z, which are 1997 to 2012. And after that, they're calling those, as of right now, Generation Alpha.
Fuck. There's nothing alpha about them. Wait, they're just they're just little babies right now. I'm jumping ahead too far. Yeah. Yay, Gen X. But yeah, a lot of entitlement nowadays, a lot of disrespect. Nobody respects anyone anymore.
I get no respect.
I'm telling you, I get no respect. Forget it. I'm not gonna do any impressions.
That was good. That was good.
It was my that was my Cheech Marin impersonation. If you
Oh,
didn't know. Just kidding.
Cheech impersonating Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I gotta try to develop that one. It's like with no, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. That's gonna sound weird. No, but yeah, a lot of younger folk don't respect anybody anymore, or they're not aware of their surroundings when they're deep into their tablets and smartphones and their electronic devices and all this stuff. I'm talking like an old man. I'm only 41 years old, and I'm like
with no kids. So
with no kids.
You need to calm down, man.
I need to calm the hell down.
Stop telling these kids to get off your lawn, dude.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're just trying to play freeze tag.
Yeah, and I'm still freaking living at home. You know what? I should say my parents live with me since I co-own the house too, and I'm also a homeowner in North Carolina. But that's beside the point. Just I should calm down. Fucking bicyclists, hate those people. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's annoying here. Oh my god, they freaking own the road, or they think they own the road, and I hate it when they're at at an intersection, right? And they're waiting to cross the street, but they keep riding around the area, like on the crosswalk or something. They go back and forth on the crosswalk or whatever, just waiting for the light to turn green so they can cross the other way. I fucking hate that. I want to hit them with my car so badly.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't.
I thought those people were selling drugs. Is what I thought. No,
they were just they just go back and forth, like up and down the other side of the crosswalk where the traffic is not going anywhere. But
so do you have bicycle lanes in California?
Yeah, we do.
I don't mean the ones on the side that are like shaded green or like a little individual stripe. So in Florida.
Yeah, how is it like in Florida?
So you'll have a
what is it like?
Yeah. Basically, it's
no, yeah, but explain your bicycle lanes over there, if any.
So it'd be a picture of a bicycle, right?
Right.
So if the picture of a bicycle is like over on the right hand side of the lane,
mm-hmm.
that means that you have to, when you pass a bicycle, you have to go around the bicycle, right? You have to go. You can stay in the lane a little bit and go around them. So if the picture of the bicycle is in the middle of the lane, you cannot pass them in the same lane. You have to actually go out into another lane and go around them.
Oh wow, okay.
And so out here on the main road, which is Gulf Boulevard, you'll see that the outer right lane, in part of it, there'll be a bicycle on the side. So that means, hey, if you're riding a bicycle, you need to be over on the right-hand side so that cars can pass you. But then there'll be a place where you can get out there and you can ride like 2 abreast or 3 abreast bicycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just have to go in another lane.
Weird.
Yeah. So we do have a lot of the people who ride like the road cycles, like what would be back in the day a 10 speed or a 12 speed, the big tires, and you ride hunched over.
Yeah.
They wear the spandex bike shorts and the shirt and the helmet. And so we have a lot of those people that ride around here, ride the bikes that cost like $2,000.
Yeah. My dad used to do that.
Really?
Yeah. To get healthy, when he was diagnosed with, he also has diabetes. So for him to lose weight and stuff, like, he was never a big guy, but I mean, he was, like unhealthy in that respect. So he took up bicycling as a hobby and found some friends that did the same. So they would go biking every like weekend, and that's how he lost weight. He ended up building like his own like 10 speed, 12 speed bicycle, had the fucking biker shorts and shit and the goddamn spandex, and I'm like, God damn it, Dad. Just wear shorts or something. I don't know. It's just weird. I'm like, oh my God, my dad like one of those bicyclists. And I mean, it was fine because he did it for health purposes and he had fun doing it with other people. He did lose a lot of weight, so that actually, benefited him. But as his son, I didn't want to be around him when he wore his spandex biker shorts and his spandex outfit and his helmet and all that stuff. I didn't want to be around him. I was like reverting back to my teenage years when my dad wasn't cool, and I didn't want to be around my parents. And if I see my friends out in public with and I'm hanging out with my parents, I didn't want to be seen with them and everything like that. No, but it just reminded me of my dad back in the day, like a couple of years back. So I was just thinking about that, and it's horrible. Anyway. Bicyclists. Don't be that kind of father, Frankie.
Those guys would make a good late 80s, early 90s WWE gimmick, wouldn't they?
Oh, I know, right?
The bicyclists.
The bicyclists. I mean, they had the dynamic dudes with their skateboards. They might as well have the bicyclists. Or a unicycle. That'd be dope. And it just... Well, okay.
They could have the unicyclists with the oddities.
Oh yeah,
they could have had that. Yeah.
They could have had that, yeah, or a pogo stick, but that's totally different.
Have you ever ridden a pogo stick?
No, I'm afraid of those. I've seen videos where people just mess up on a pogo stick and it looks very painful. And,
we bought my niece Tootie one, and I tried it. I could go a couple times. That was about it.
Why would anybody want to do that?
Well, it's kind of fun. It's. Oh, I mean, have you ever been on a trampoline?
Yeah, but I'm afraid that I would break it, so I try not to go on the trampoline. Because my cousin had one when I was a kid, and that was fine because I only weighed like 50 pounds. But now I'm like, oh, this might not be a good idea for me to get on a trampoline, even though I'm not like 400, 500 pounds. It's just that there's that fear in the back of my mind that, well, anything can happen, and I could just go through
that's
the
true.
trampoline.
That's true, man. Hey, you keep eating your burritos and then immediately following the burrito, following it up with a pizza. We might get you there.
Exactly, right? Pizza sounds good right now. Speaking of pizza, the question that Jeff asked Barry on the Breaking Kayfabe podcast, which pizza chains out of Pizza Hut, Domino's, Papa John's, and Little Caesars do you like and dislike?
Oh,
if you ate at those places.
Well, I tell you, this is a hot take, but for $5, you cannot beat a hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you, we've gotten them a couple times down here, and they ain't bad. I think Little Caesars is better than Domino's, better than Papa John's. So we don't order out those. If we actually get pizza, we get pizza from a place called Beach Pizza, which is here on the beach. There's one in Seminole, and there's one up in, I think it's North Reddington or Rayton Shores, one of the two. There's so many of these towns. So I live in Rayton Beach, which has got about 1,200 people in it. A mile up the road, it's North Reddington. Then a mile up there from that, it's Rayton Shores. So anyway, it's a couple miles from the house, and it's Beach Pizza, and that's good. But honestly, I don't have like a very good sense of taste or smell. But for me, I like the Little Caesars just as good as I like the Beach Pizza. $5, I think, is a heck of a deal.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on the Little Caesars, but I only get the deep dish pizza from Little Caesars. I'm not a big fan of their regular round pizza, but I do love their deep dish. And that's my go-to pizza to get over at Little Caesars. Lately, I've been a Domino's guy, only because they're really quick in this area. They opened one a couple years back, just like right around down the street from my house. So, I would put an order in, and then they'd be here like in, 20, 30 minutes. It's freaking piping hot. It's not the best pizza. It's not like the worst either. I've had a lot worse than that, but it does the job in, if I'm craving a pizza. I've never had Papa John's. I don't know how it is. I don't hear anything good about Papa John's, so I'm not really going to get that anytime soon. And Pizza Hut, I liked when I was losing weight. When I wanted a pizza, I would get the thin crust, like Jeff mentioned. I would get the thin crust, and I would just put veggies on it, a little bit of meat. I like they have cherry peppers. You could put cherry peppers on top. I went and also put like spinach, just because I just wanted to add some greens on there, lower the I was just trying to lose some weight but enjoy pizza at the same time without getting like all that sodium and fat on there and cholesterol also. But for me it's Little Caesars, number one in that list. But usually I would go like Mountain Mike's and Round Table Pizza, or there's one called Pizza Maria. They do a nice Sicilian. I posted it a while back, the Sicilian square pizza or rectangular pizza. And that was one of the best pizzas I've ever had so far.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and get your pizza ordered, man. You've talked about it enough.
No, I'm cool. I'm not gonna get pizza. It's I'm just gonna not get pizza today. Maybe tomorrow though.
Hey, you know what I do sometimes when I am hungry and I don't want to eat? I mean, like I'm like, dude, I don't need to eat. You know, this is true. This is not one of Frankie's stupid jokes. When I'm hungry and I say, oh my gosh, I need to eat something, but I know that I'm really not hungry because I'm just hungry out of boredom.
Mm-hmm.
I eat 2 fiber gummies, sometimes 3 fiber gummies.
Oh, okay.
And then I feel like, oh my gosh, I just ate these. I eat them one at a time, slow. I chew them up, and then plus they help me poop.
You know, does it get you full or full feeling?
Yes.
Like feeling that you're full? Okay, that I might have to do. I need, like, right now with the boredom, eating, stuff like that, I'm just trying to, I guess, try to make myself feel full. And I might have to do something like that. I might have to do either like, you know, a high fiber or high protein snack or something.
Yes. I'll tell you what I've been doing, and I feel a lot better off air. But that's one of my tricks. So okay. I'll go eat 2 fiber, gummies, chew them one at a time, chew them slow, put it in there, and then I'll get another fiber gummy, boom, 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 boom. And then it's like, oh, I feel good. Drink some water with it, and I'll feel good. I'll feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not even hungry anymore. True story.
I got to do that. That actually makes perfect sense.
The other thing that I started doing was I will go and do like a little workout with my Bowflex dumbbells.
Oh, you have the ones that you can change the weight?
Yeah.
I got that too. We're twins. Oh my God, we should work out together and wear spandex or something. No,
dude, that is a great idea.
No.
What's your favorite color?
Really? You gonna ask me that?
Yeah.
Blue.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
We could wear blue tights like Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood. I'll wear the tasseled boots, okay? We could do that. You don't have to wear tasseled boots.
You're gonna do the ethnic gimmick?
I guess I'm the ethnic one out of the both of us. Whatever that means, we're all ethnic of something, right? You know?
Aren't we, man?
Yeah, it's like I don't get that. I don't get ethnicity. I mean, whatever. I'm not gonna go into.
That's another podcast.
That's another podcast. But yeah, we're all ethnic. Of some sort. But yeah, okay, second question was the breakfast chain, right? Yeah.
Oh no, that's it. That's it for the show.
Oh, okay, cool. We're done.
Yeah, we're done. That's an hour from us.
This is an hour already. Almost an hour. Crazy.
Yeah, time flies.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can do the go home.
All right. The go home is this. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We will be back in probably a week with a new episode. If you'd like to be a guest on Broken Kayfabe, just send me a message through Facebook Messenger or at any of the emails that you find for me online, 910pod@gmail.com. And would love to have you on. I have no other guests lined up. Thank you, Chris Spiker, for coming on for 2 episodes. And Ariel, thank you again for your time and talking, and go eat some pizza and get some rest.
Will do, except for the pizza part, but I'm just going to drink a lot of water.
There we go. Remind me, we'll talk about water next time.
Oh, okay.
All right. Thank you,
All right,
everyone,
guys.
for listening. Bye.
All right, bye.